What is up, YouTube? Welcome back. Aeneas here. Today we're starting episode 1 of a series I'm calling Deck Building Like a Pro. So every season I always get to Mythic, and I pretty much always get there with some homebrews that I've built myself. And every start of a new when a new release comes out, I build the top 5 decks for the new series. And so I thought it would be kind of interesting to discuss about how to make good decks, what kind of things you need to think about when you're making decks, and what's the kind of process that goes into building decks. This same kind of process is also a lot of what you use when you're sideboarding or you're building sideboards for other matchups. So even if you have no real interest in building your own decks, this can still help you to know, how do I sideboard better in best of 3, or what cards do I need to tweak in my sideboard to make my matchups better? So anyway, yeah, this is going to be a series where we build a deck together, and we talk about some tips and other things to help you make the deck. And then afterward, we'll try 1 or 2 games on the play queue just to test it out. All right, so just to start off, a few things. When you want to build a deck, you need to have some sort of goal. So if we want to make a deck, we need to first think about, what is it that we're trying to accomplish, or what is it that we want to do with our deck? And there's a few different ways to do this. First of all, you can think about a problem you're trying to solve, or you can think about maybe some archetype that you want to build, or something you want to work towards, or you can pick a color that you like and maybe try to go with that. Or maybe there's some strong cards that you see in the set, or interesting cards in the set you want to build around. So you need some sort of goal that will guide you to building your deck. And so for example, since it's episode 1, if I wanted to make some sort of Dimir deck, some sort of Dimir control deck, something like that, I need to think about what is it I'm trying to accomplish with that deck, and I need to think about the meta and what other decks are out there and how to deal with those different cards that they have. And so the first things first, you decide on your deck's goal. So for this one I said Dimir control, and the goal is to stop the opponent from playing any spells and then maybe winning with some sort of large creature. So how am I going to accomplish this goal? What are the key cards that I need in the deck that's going to make this deck work? So first of all, we can think about what my finisher is going to be in this deck. So what is that big creature that I'm going to use that's going to win me the game, that I'm going to try to work towards? So if we look at some big creatures, so I'll just take a look at everything 5 and up, and let me add the not collected part as well. We can see some creatures that might be good as finishers for a Dimir type deck. So there's Leer, of course. Leer is pretty good. There is a big restriction to adding Leer to your deck, and that is that you can't use counter spells very easily. So that does make things a little bit trickier. But yeah, Leer is a decent finisher card. We also have Sphinx of Clear Skies, which is one of the new cards, and that is a pretty interesting finisher. It's got ward, so it's hard to kill. It draws us cards. So yeah, I would say this is in pretty good consideration to be our finisher creature. If we can get this down and protect it, then we're going to be doing pretty good with that. Let's keep looking. Maybe there's something else that sparks our interest. Defiler of Dreams. This also has a very hard constrict building requirement, which is you need lots of blue permanents. So probably not what we want for this. Anything else that looks interesting? All-Seeing Arbiter is okay, but not that powerful. Jin, again, same thing. Okay, but not that powerful. Kyrie is pretty good. It is hard to kill, but it doesn't give us that much benefit when it dies. like you bounce some stuff or you get some spells back. So maybe, hard to say about that one. Hullbreaker Horror, of course, is well known for being a good finisher creature. So I'm not gonna build this deck with that one, but I'll put it in here just because it's a consideration. I guess Jin-Gitaxias is also a big creature that will win you the game. Yeah, especially if you have some spell that you want to copy with him, so like Invoke or something. But I've already built decks like that, so this time I'm going to try to not do that. This one's going to be focused around counterspelling and stopping the opponent from doing stuff. So it could be Jin, but we'll keep thinking about it. So other ones that we got, Jinji is pretty decent. Let's see. Cruelty of Gix. I think I'm going to want that card, but that's not the finisher. Cemetery Desecrator is okay as well. Kotose is pretty good. Let's add that into consideration. Toxrill. 7 mana is a little bit slow. And also, let's see, with the current meta, a lot of 2 toughness creatures. We also have Liliana, who makes you sacrifice it. So I think you kind of need to get value as soon as you play it, in case they are able to end up killing it. So probably this is not going to be good enough. I guess I'll put it in sideboard just so we think about it. Alright, and I think that's all we got in Dimir. So these are kind of our choices. Yeah, that's not really a finisher. So Sphinx of Clear Skies, if this stays on the board, it's flying, so they can't block it easily. Scout Ward, it's hard to kill, it's drawing us cards. So that's a really solid card. Jinji, 5/5 Flyer Menace, so yeah, it is hard to block, it does damage. You don't get any effect until it dies. There isn't that much exile in the format right now, so it's actually not terrible. There could be some sort of reanimator deck that we discard our cards and then Jinji can bring them back later if he dies. That's something to think about. This one is, well, this one is super good. Can't be countered. It's very hard to kill. I think 7 mana is a little too much for this format. This format is pretty fast, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the 7 mana ones. I think that's too slow. So now we're down to Kotose, Sphinx of Clear Skies, and Jinji. And I'm thinking about what the format is like. A lot of times the opponent is using all of their cards or making themselves discard. So the discard on Jinji is not that great. The reanimation is fine. So it could be fine for that. But I'm actually pretty interested in Kotose because it exiles their creatures, so we can get rid of their underdogs. We can get rid of the Flame Breath Chick, I think it's called. We can also steal some Invoke Despairs from the opponent, or even Liliana, stuff like that. So I'm leaning more towards one of these two for our finisher in this deck. Alright. We could even have a mix of both, to be honest. Maybe we go something like 2 or 3 Sphinx and 2 Kotose as our top end. This might be too many. We'll think about it as we go along and build the rest of the deck, and we make cuts towards the end. I also like having the Cruelty of Gix in here because we can make them discard, and we can find our creature like Kotose if we need to, and we can also bring something back. So yeah, that seems to synergize pretty well with Kotose. Alright, so we have our finisher. Now we have to think about what goes in the deck. So this is the part where we think about other key cards that will make this deck function. So in Dimir, if we want to counter everything, then the key cards we need are counter spells. So let's take a look at those. All right. We have quite a lot. I know from experience that make, disappear, and negate are pretty good in the current format. So maybe we can add a couple of those each. All right. And Disdainful Stroke is probably not bad. We could go Essence Scatter. But I think most of the time the creatures are very small, so we could just remove them instead. There's a few creatures that you don't want to let hit, but maybe make disappear would be good enough for that. It's still an option we could do. And then I think we probably want a few counter spells that are 3 mana or more. Syncopate is also an idea, but Syncopate is always a pretty bad value. I think it's probably either one of these two. Artise Scorn is very efficient. You can get it for 2 mana a lot of times. Or Dissipate, which exiles the opponent's creature. And I think since, yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards trying Dissipate out because I've tried Artise Scorn and it's good, but being able to exile underdogs and other creatures sounds pretty tempting. That way, like, the Trespasser can't eat them or anything like that. So maybe let's try 2 Dissipates in the deck. And I don't know if we want to use Cover Up yet, so I'll just add that to the sideboard while I think about it. Okay, so that's kind of our core counter suite, I would say. 2 make disappear, 1 disdainful stroke, 2 negates, 2 dissipates. We may go up or down from there. Just depends on the deck. Alright, so now I would say we should think about the meta. So the current meta, mono black, Rakdos, and there's also the mono blue deck that's out, and there's some mono red aggro and some mono white or enchantments. So there's actually quite a few archetypes, but I think the most common are the black, Rakdos, and yesterday at least it was mono blue, but I don't know if it's still going to be popular today. So I think we want some, yeah, actually like 4 of those decks are pretty aggressive, so we probably still want some cheap removal, like cut down. Let's get 2 of those in there. What else do we need? I guess we want some sweepers. So what would be the best sweepers to put up to play in this deck? So everything we have costs 5 for our finishers. So we might be able to put in the Sylex in this deck. Now there's one downside to Sylex. I mean, it does kill our own stuff, so we can't really have anything that costs less than 5. Otherwise we'll be blowing up our own stuff. But I think for right now we don't need that, so this is probably okay. Do we want some other removal as well, like a meat hook or drag to the bottom? I think meat hook might not be bad to have at least 1 of. Let's add 1 meat hook. Thinking about if we want anything else. The only tricky part is it's hard to hold up the counterspells and play the Sylex. So maybe we bring in 1 drag. Okay, so we've got 5 sweepers. Most of the time we're going to use Karn Sylex, but we have these other 2 just in case we need a little bit more flexibility. And this one gives us some life gain. Alright, and we can always change it later, but that's kind of just the core. So other removal, there's lots of planeswalkers. And there's lots of creatures. I'm trying to think like Trespasser. What would be good against Trespasser? There was something that can't be countered. But I don't think there's anything in our colors. Yeah, we've got the Hermit. Could make our removal not be countered. Leer, as we mentioned before, is a possibility. Voidrend. Voidrend is pretty nice. So this would kill Trespasser without having to discard. This also kills the Planeswalkers. And it would kill enchantments in the green-white enchantments deck. This would also be good against mono blue. So maybe we should try to switch this to an Esper deck, just so we can have Voidrend. So splashing a little bit of white. Yeah, let's see. We could also try to play Hermit, but we have the Silex, so we don't really want to blow up our own creatures. So let's see. Maybe we can fit white in. Let's see if we can do it, because this would be really great if we can have that in pretty much every matchup. Alright, so I know there's the Trio Fiend's tower. If we have that, and I know there's the black-white Pain lands. There's also Path of Peril, which is a black-white card. That's interesting. I still want to be core Dimir, so we're just barely splashing white. Is kind of the goal here. Let's see if we can do it. So I guess I'll limit to Dominaria so that shows up. Sunlit Marsh, no, that's not it. Maybe I don't own. I only have one. Oof. Okay. So if we have these four and we have Cave 4. Okay, that's a lot of pain. But that would be 12 white sources, which also doesn't ruin our core of being Dimir. I think that would be enough to include the Voidrends, because you really only need 12 sources of a color to splash one pip of it, and then like 14, around 14 if you have it as a 1 or 2 drop, but this is a 3 drop, so I think that would be good enough. And then we can still get our Dimir other lands. Take off the limitation. Shipwreck Marsh. Okay. Let's see, do we need anything else? I mean, if we really want to, we could get a couple more things of white, but we don't need to. Okay. And let's go for some legendary lands. Okay. Lodwar, Takanuma. Both are good in this deck. So we're at 29. Okay, that's obviously too many. So let's cut a couple islands, couple swamps. Actually, these are definitely the wrong lands. Let's get something better here. 2, 3, 4. Take that out. 1, 2. Take that out. Alright, so what are we sitting at? 25 lands? That's pretty good. If we don't play the Silex, we could maybe put in the Celestis, but we can't have both, so that's kind of a trade-off. So either we go drag to the bottom, meat hook, no Silex, and put in the Celestis to help with our white, or not. So which is better here? Am I worried about getting white? I'm not that worried. It's only one card. But Celestis is not bad either. I mean, it does give us some life gain, some filtering. So potentially, could swap that. get up the Void Rends. We could get Celestis. Oh, that's because I have this filter on. Okay, let's grab 2 maybe, and 25 lands with 2 sounds about right. Okay, and let's go ahead and up some of our other sweepers then to make up for that. Probably still want about 5 sweepers, I would guess. It's very creature heavy meta. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good start. I mean, 60% blue, 52% black. So we have a little more blue than black. That makes sense. We also have a splash of white, and the Celestis helps make up for that as well. So that looks pretty solid. I think we need a few more early game plays though, and we might have to cut one of our big creatures. So what can we do for 1 or 2 mana? What can we do? Guess having Aronas wouldn't hurt. 1 or 2 of those. And else? Well, we probably want some draw. So what would be the best draw for this? We could do Tainted. I actually saw someone recently playing Siphon Inside, which is pretty interesting. So if you get discarded, it doesn't hurt that much. Oh, and we need a 4-drop draw. Deadly Deluge. So let's go with that. Okay. So this is looking pretty good. What are we lacking? We have 4 slots left. Trying to rename this. Doesn't want to let me. Or maybe I can do it here. This is like Holy Demir or something. Okay, some other good 4-drops, or 2, 3, or 4 drops. Let me think. I guess we could have a March, at least one. It's always good. Maybe we just play all 4 Void Rends. I mean, it's going to be good in pretty much every matchup. Might be missing something in the 2-drop slot, though. I want to have 1 Soul Transfer. Because some of the decks are running Titan of Industry. I think it would be good to be able to exile those. Gets around the shield counters. Let's put one of those in there. Oh, I know what I wanted to add. Witness Future, I think. Gives us some extra draw at the 3 slot. Sorcery speed is a little bit not great, but it's kind of an alternate win con if we need it. Gets a lot of our good cards back in our deck. So I think it would be nice to have. Alright. So we're at max, unless we want to switch something. Is there anything we want to switch out? Maybe having this many 5-drops is too many? What would we get instead? I also don't know if we have enough counter spells. Like, this is probably okay for the 2-drop slot. We don't have many 3-drop counter spells though. Maybe we go down to 1 Sphinx. Let's add 1 Devious Cover-Up for 1 more counterspell. And what else? What else? We got life gain, Celestis Meat Hook. Maybe we can go second cruelty. We can always get back our Sphinx, you know, with that. And a lot of times it's going to be like a 3-for-1 against the opponent. Seems decent, worth a shot. So, okay. How does that look? How's this deck looking? So, the curve, we've got a lot, about 13 turn 1, turn 2 plays. Most of the cards are turn 3, and then a few 4 and a few 5. So, the curve looks pretty good. We're averaging about 3. And usually when you have about 3, you want to have 25 to 26 lands. Usually 26 is better, but in this case we have 2 Celestis, so it kind of makes up for having the 25 instead of 26. I think this looks pretty good. I can't think of anything that we're really missing. So yeah, that looks good to me. Let's go give it a shot. So let's try it out in the play queue, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, we go first. Nice. The land looks good. Yeah, I mean, this has got everything. Keep. See what he does. I don't think... Oh, I guess we go first, so... Yeah, probably we'll just play the tap land then. There's not really any like must kill things on turn 1 in this format, so yeah, that's fine. Okay. If this is mono blue, okay, it's just a mirror. Interesting. Do I need to be worried turn 3 for something to negate? I mean, even if he lilies, it's not that scary. I might counter this. There's not really a... Oh, okay. Syncopate, I guess, is a little bit annoying. But that's why we got 3 recursion ones, so even though that's gone, it's still fine. Alright. Yeah, nothing we can really do here. Just pass. So they're on Esper, so this might be like Rafine or something. Okay, we missed that land drop, sadly. Maybe there should be a little bit more card draw on the deck. Maybe that last Cruelty of Gix should have been another Siphon or something, so we don't miss our land drops. I guess at this point even a Memory Deluge would have been good. Do I care about this? He's definitely gonna get to cycle some cards from this. I guess I can Void Rend it if I'm really worried. Okay, still no land. There's no creatures. I mean, I don't even know if they have a creature. They haven't played anything. So I guess I should just keep waiting. I'll have to discard the cut down. Or, which I can't kill, but I can stick at the bottom of their deck. But that's a nice thing about Runner's Vortex. I don't have to discard now. Wow, still no land, okay. I mean, he can't Hullbreaker Horror here. So I want to kick, so... I'm gonna guess that... like, that's his whole win con, so... I mean, I can't counter that anyway. Might as well get him to use some of his counters. I always have Soul Transfer if I really need it. Okay. Dang it! Give me the lands! Come on! Okay. Maybe I can play this. So I don't have to discard it? Is that worth? I don't think that's worth. Just discard cut down. This. Yeah, I should keep up something like this. I think he has Syncopate, because he was like, can I do it? And then realized that we had the same mana. Alright, finally some more lands. Sweet. That's kind of a strange deck that the opponent has. Kotose is nice. I think I want to do it when I have enough mana to counter and Kotose though. Okay. And this would be it. Do I try? Probably gonna snag his negate if he lets it resolve. Cover up. He probably has a Syncopate though, so this is not getting through. Oh, I guess the shuffle. That's pretty big. Alright, Void Rend is good. Even if he has Hullbreaker, we can kill it. Wandering Emperor. Alright, you have more counter spells. Another negate. That's not bad. I can do that on his turn though. Maybe he'll counter this, I don't know. If he has like a use cover up. Nope. Okay. Sweet. We got it. Right, so we have 2 lands. We're going second. This is an okay hand. I mean, we have the sweeper, and we have a bounce if we really need it early, so I think we can try this. Okay, we got our 3rd land. That's good. Weaver of Harmony. So this is the green-white enchantments list. So this isn't too scary, but if he like copies the white 2-mana enchantment, I forget the name, then we might have to. So he wants 2 draws. But I want to let him have 2 draws. We can go ahead and bounce this because we're going to get the value back later. And that way we stop him from getting a free card. I mean, it's kind of a trade-off. But I think worth it. And this is 1 damage turn, it doesn't really matter. Probably need a siphon here to get our 4th land. But it should be fine. And yeah, this card seems so good. Now I think about it, like, it's good against enchantment deck, good against Liliana, it's good against pretty much everything. Alright, let's try to get this land. White land is fine, yeah. Okay, we actually did get our own land already, but this will be good. This clears the board. Okay. So that was pretty even, I would say, right? Because he played the dog, it got a card, we used the bounce, so the trade ended up about equal. But we do have the Sphinx, which we could even wait till turn 7 now and hold it up. We'd have to spend 5 mana to deal with this. But I think having the negate up is pretty nice. Maybe I will Void Rend that Restoration and then hold up a negate. Alternatively though, I mean, this is gonna die, right? Eventually to the drag. And it flips. So he gets a 2 mana back though. Oh, okay. Took too long thinking. That's the play cue for you. But we were definitely doing really well in that game. I think playing the Sphinx there. Because, well, no, the negate. Negate was better play. Need to keep it up because it's got so many enchantments. Alright, cool. Let's go to the next game. Go first. Only 2 lands though, and no 2 mana draw, so I think we got a mulligan. Arguably better. I think we can keep it, but don't love it. Probably put the March back, because it's not really playable for a while. I mean, neither of these are either, but good chance we get a blue mana source. Yeah. Okay. So let's go with that. Meat hook will be nice so we can sweep. Alright, let's start with the blue source, in case we get another one. We'll want to play it. It's an interesting swamp. Dominaria. Okay, no second blue, that's sad, but what can you do? At least it seems like this might be a black-white aggro style deck. Our meat hooks are going to come in handy. Yeah, nothing we can do there. Still don't have a second blue. So it's things like this, you know, means we might need to go back and take a look at, make sure our mana base is okay. Make sure if we need more like Siphon Insights or something, just so this doesn't happen. Alright, yep. So we actually can't kill this yet because these don't have a type. So yeah, we might have to think about that in the land. Maybe we need more of the meat hooks, or more of the triumphs. I mean, we do have the Celestis, so we might be able to cut a few of our white sources to make up for it. Alright. Yeah, we really just need a land, so let's just do this. Guess, yeah, let's grab the tower so that will turn on our drag for next turn. I guess they're still really not gonna, maybe they're gonna invoke us now. That would be pretty bad. We'll be down to 2. Alright, now we get the blue. After we were already set. Let's go for the meat hook then, because it'll get us a little bit of life back. Oh, actually, if we go for this one, we can hold up the counter spell. So let's do that. So now if he does invoke despair or something, we have the counter. Okay, Sorin. Do I care about Sorin? Probably still good to counter it. I mean, it's a value engine for them. We have other counter spells too. And if they play a second creature... Nope, they didn't. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and draw on my turn, just to see if I can get something like a negate.
Are you ready?
Cruelty, Kotose... Both are interesting. But no counterspell, unfortunately. Alright, I mean, I think I still grab them, and then I'll just play this as a land. I have no clue what this opponent is doing though. I haven't played, like, literally anything. Only lands. Okay, they're getting their creature back. I guess they're gonna eat my Deluge, which is fine. I can just use the meat hook. Okay, makes sense. I got rid of the Witness Future too. So I'm willing to do this for 3, but we don't have another play really. If there's a reason to do it for more. Probably I'll cycle my land. Unless they had something? No. Okay, well, that makes me feel a little bit better. We're out of the range of death, basically. Interesting. Lisa. See if we can find a removal. That'll do. Yeah, Rona's Vortex. This also will work. I wonder if they just have a handful of removal spells. So if I use this, I can also use Kotose to get it back, or Gix. Maybe I'll just play Gix. They must have other... Surely they have other creatures? But if not, I mean, I can go find another Void Ren or something. Okay, that was good. Their last, the last one it could hit. Alright, nothing. Alright, we're gonna take 3 here, which hurts a little bit. They only have removal in hand, for the most part. Maybe we should get a counter spell. Like another Dissipate. Sounds pretty decent. Or 5, yeah. So we can play Kotose and hold up the Dissipate. Actually, I can play the Emperor with Flash, right? So let me do that. As long as I didn't forget how this works. No more Emperors in the deck. That's a 1-of. Okay. Interesting. It looks like a black-white aggro, but they just didn't get their aggro cards. Alright. Well, cool. We got the win. Deck did well, performed well. Yeah, nice. Pretty sweet. So that's it for the games. Let's go take a look back at the deck, see what we think, see if anything needs to change. So yeah, see you in a bit. Alright, so this is kind of the post-games wrap-up. The deck did well, at least in the play queue. We have to see how it does in ranked after this, but I think the only things that were a little bit bad are these lands not having the land types made our drag downs a little bit worse, drag to the bottoms. So we may have to think about switching some of these for the Triome, something like that. So that might be some change we would do. We do have the Celestis, so maybe it's fine to switch a couple of these. Let's just look at the Triomes. Which ones do we have that have white in them? We have, I guess it would maybe Spara's headquarters, blue-white, and we don't have a white-black Triumph. We already have for Fiend's Tower, so that's a little bit tricky. Maybe, yeah, maybe we could put one of these at least and cut, like, I think it's mostly blue, so we cut a cave or something like that. And yeah, maybe we switch another one as well. Other thing I was thinking about is, seemed like we might want a little bit more early draw, like maybe one more Siphon Insight would be good. So we would have to make a cut for that. That is a tough cut though, to be honest. Maybe it would be one of the Cruelty of Gix's. The card did perform very well though in the games, but possibly this or possibly one of the sweepers, and we just have 4 sweepers, something like that. Maybe, yeah, maybe it should be 1 meat hook and 3 drags, something like that. As long as we fix the land. So yeah, that's the deck. It did actually very well, surprisingly well on the ladder. On the play queue, and yeah, maybe we'll try it out on the ladder, sometime in the near future. But until next time, see ya.